A very good morning to all of you, my fellow Singaporeans, on this wonderful National Day. I have come to Fort Canning, which lies at the heart of central Singapore. This was the center of ancient Singapura that thrived in the 14th century. This location was the genesis of our nation. Of course, on National Day, we celebrate the existence of our country and all the efforts that have gone into nation building the past years. But at the core of a nation is its people. At the core of Singapore is the Singaporean citizen. And it is grossly a fallacy to suggest that this Singapore core can somehow be stretched to include others other than the Singaporean citizen. But what has happened in recent times is that we have a government that has almost embraced unholy many things foreign, including the foreign worker. And in the process, they have hollowed out the Singapore core, the identity which binds us together as a community and which makes up this nation. Singapore has never been closed. Singapore has always been open. Singaporeans are an open people. We can embrace people from all over the world. As a nation, we sit at the crossroads of the great trading routes of the world. Our nation is a product of trade and commerce. But being open to the world does not mean that Singaporean citizens' rights can be neglected. But what has happened in recent times, my friends, is that many of our fellow countrymen have been reduced in their status to that of an economic refugee, where they have become so disadvantaged in one aspect of life, in employment opportunities. And that is unfair. And not only is that unfair, we cannot allow it to continue. Our forebears did not build up this nation to see that their children and succeeding generations will have a lesser future than them, or of a foreigner who comes here to work. As I speak today to you, nearly 10% of our youth up to the age of 29 are unemployed. Many of our best educated, best trained professionals have lost their jobs, have been displaced, or are engaged in jobs that are well below what they are capable of. I know of senior bank executives who are now driving Grab in order to feed their families. And yet, when we go to the industrial parks like Changi Business Park, which is the home of many IT companies, we see it teeming with foreign workers. And this phenomena has permeated many sectors of our economy, including our financial sector. Now, Lee Hsien Loong, in his speech yesterday, said that the government will have to adjust its work pass policies, its foreign worker policies. And if the government can do that well, we can welcome more foreign workers and immigrants. Now, that one portion of his speech is telling. It is telling because it shows a singular lack of commitment to that Singaporean worker. That Singaporean worker must have priority over jobs. But that is not what you are going to get from Lee Hsien Loong and this government. It is not just a matter of adjustment or rebalancing. The pendulum in recent times has swung so far against the Singaporean worker that what we need now is a fundamental rebirth and a recognition of the rights of the Singaporean when it comes to jobs. And those who disagree with our position will use all sorts of arguments to try and detract from the failures of their own policies. They will call others names like racist, xenophobic, nativist. I say to these people, the defense of your own countrymen's interests is never a vice. It is never a vice. It is not racist, xenophobic, or nativist when you want the best for your countrymen and for them to have priority for jobs. But it is racist when foreign companies who come to Singapore deliberately choose to hire their own countrymen ahead of well-capable Singaporeans. It is on that note I leave you on this National Day. On this day, we celebrate our status as Singaporeans. We celebrate our nation. But we must also remember that as Singaporeans, we have the right to expect our government to lavish resources and attention to developing the Singaporean talent. Which book of wisdom does not teach us that the father has to give the best to his children? Even the prodigal son was given the best when he returned to his father. And we must develop our Singaporean talent if we want to be a truly global city. You do not build a global city by neglecting your own citizens. You do not build a global city by treating our nation as a transit gateway or a stepping stone for foreigners. But when we can fulfill that Singaporean potential, we will be this shining beacon of hope to the rest of the world. And I ask all of you, my fellow friends, to join us in that journey. Thank you very much.